You're stuck in quarantine, and it's not all that bad. You get to work in your pajamas, but you also get to reflect on how you're going to use this time. Now, a bad social media manager will use this time to hibernate and sleep away opportunity. But a good social media manager will use this time to invest in education and learning new skills. And that's why we've put together 3 top 10 lists for the best content that you can binge on to grow your business during this time. Stay tuned, everybody. It's the Social Media Lab Live.
Are you ready to use science to bust some myths in the social media ecosystem?
Great Scott!
Welcome to the Social Media Lab Live, brought to you by Agorapulse, where our social media scientists experiment on real accounts to crack the code on social media success for your business.
Type 5 to subscribe to the show.
Now your hosts, Owen Video and Scott Ayers.
Hey, welcome back to the Social Media Lab Live, where social media professionals get to bust the myths, the rumors, and the stories of social media with science. We're live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, YouTube, and now on Periscope. Welcome all of you watching on Periscope for the very first time. It's super good to have you here. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can join the tribe when you give me 5. That's right. Type 5 into the comment section now to join the Social Media Lab Lounge, where you'll get insider access and contribute to the show in our private Facebook group for social media nerds. Just type 5 in the comment section now. I'm Owen Video, your host MC, and I'm here with the #1 social media scientist, my man, Scott Ayers.
Man, we're a little rusty. It's been like since February since you and I were on a show together.
Can you believe it? Like the world was a completely different place.
Tell me about it.
The last time we streamed live.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, the last live show you did was with Jay Bear. Because I was speaking at an event, and then we had Social Media Marketing World, and then I was off, and then last week we had technical problems. Yeah, the world was falling apart since February.
So gnarly, I know.
It's
but
insane.
We're glad to be here, and I'm glad to see you. We even tried to go live last week, but the technical problems just it's interesting how when it hits, it all hits together. But we're back again, and we have a really exciting show. We decided to kind of make it a little bit more fun today to get everybody sort of engaged and just have a good time. Scott, what are we covering today? Because this is really your idea.
Yeah, I mean, our shows will probably be a little different for a few weeks. That's kind of what we're thinking. Instead of just talking about just our experiments, we're gonna talk about some different things that you can use maybe in this for a lot of you anyway that are at home a little bit more, got kids at home like we do.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about some different top 10 lists that Owen and I have just made up. So these aren't like in some sort of scientific order. It's just what Owen and I prefer on a couple of different subjects. So we hope that we give you some value. That's the first thing. But we want to have fun, make you laugh, and just have a good time talking to everybody in the community. And it's been kind of fun to do some different things in our Facebook group. By the way, you can type 5 to subscribe. We've had like a massive amount of people join lately. Like, yes, this morning I woke up like 30, 40 people asking to join.
Well, it's like, what else is there to do? It's something to do, and it's a fun group to be in. I'll tell you what, if you're watching us live or on the replay right now, tell me, what is the #1 thing that you found helps you to pass the time? Because I'm definitely on the lookout for different ways to pass time. One of the big things that I've been doing is spending more time writing thoughtful comments to people that are in the space. And I don't say that to get an applause, although if we had an applause sound effect, it would be nice. But I say that because, I'm always in such a rush to get things done and to I'm just going to say hello, and I got so many comments to respond to. But really taking the time for these people that it's like, I really like this person, and just saying hello, actually leaving some character count on their comment section. So that's something that I've been doing. I'd love to know what you guys are doing to pass the time. Something you found that you really enjoy. Scott, what have you found that you really enjoy doing to pass this time?
The interesting thing for me, and I'm probably a unique situation for a lot of people, is I'm in a small town in Texas.
Yeah.
Not much, and I already worked remotely anyway.
Yeah.
And so nothing's changed like on my day to day as far as like what I do, except for my 3 kids are home. It's like we took spring break, and then everything shut down while we were on spring break.
Wow.
And so they haven't gone back. And my wife's a kindergarten teacher, and so she's at home. So it's like an early summer break for us, even though she's still having to do a lot of work. And shout out to teachers. A lot of people think teachers are just taking the time off right now.
No way.
They're working their butts off. She passed out food this morning at the school. We're trying to make sure all the kids stay fed. Because we're in an area too. It's considered a Title I school. We're a low income area. A lot of people on free lunches and free breakfast. So she's passing those out. She's home a lot. And the cool thing is my wife is not a social media person. Like she has an account. She doesn't do a lot. She doesn't know technology. I have to tell her how to like open Google Docs sometimes. Like she's learned how to do videos. She's playing around with doing a YouTube channel. Like she's really kind of grown now in the last week because she wants to communicate with her kids, awesome. And so it's really cool to kind of see her do that. I imagine a lot of the people in the same situation.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from you in the audience, in the community out there. What are you doing to pass the time? Have you found any new skills, new things to play with? Want to say what's up to Molly Mahoney, who is joining us, and I just love her so much. If you guys love Molly,
Molly,
give Molly some hearts in the comment section. You know, I'm in a mastermind group with Molly, and we had this opportunity to just talk about what we're doing to help our people during this time, right. and I just saw how much Molly cares. Not only about her clients, but the people. And I just relate to it so much, and I love seeing you here. Deb Mitchell logging in. Great to see you here. And, of course, Naomi Nakashima is saying TikTok is where she is spending a lot of her new time. Pressy Tripoli is logging in from the Philippines. Pressy, hope you're staying safe and getting a ton of work done over there. I want to say what's up to Nick Wood logging in from across the pond, who says, I started to live stream daily for an hour. That's awesome. Massive. Pat Flynn's been doing daily live streams as well. Scott, have you done
Jeff
more
C?
Content?
Yeah. Have you seen Jeff C's lives? He's going live, and he's a craftsman in wood. He does wood carving. He sets himself a timer, and he makes something during his live and talks to you. It's like the coolest thing.
Oh, I got to check that out. Jeff C., in case you don't know, is a good friend of the social media manager community, awesome. And we really like him. I want to say it was up to Karen Atkinson Carr. Karen Carr, I got to say, just uploaded her most recent YouTube video. I worked with her at length on this video. And within, within the first hour, it was the top performing video on her channel.
Oh, wow.
And now it's way the top performing video on her channel. Her channel's never seen a video get that many views that fast. So congratulations to you, Karen Carr. Great to see you moving forward and getting things done. Andy Falco Jimenez, Katie Sevenance is saying, we learned a new game with our kids who are all at home. I love it. I love that you're trying new things and getting into new things. We're certainly doing the same thing, and I have found a ton of great pieces of content to engage in. So Scott and I, we've put together 3 top 10 lists, one with the top pieces of content that you could be diving into right now. Scott, what else did we come up with today? What are our other lists that we grew up with, or we came up with?
We grew up with the top 10 virtual services that we use, and we recommend to others. So different ways to run a business while you're online. And then the last one will be all for fun. The top 10 binge-worthy shows. Yeah. And I have to tell you, I looked at Owen's this morning and mine. We're so different on some of the things, but cross on others, and so it's kind of funny to see which ones we both are into right now.
My man Mitch Jackson is logging in. Mitch, what are you doing to pass the time? The courts are closed. Your offices are closed. We'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Hey, our show today is powered by the #1 social media management tool on the market, Agorapulse. Agorapulse is the #1 social media management tool for social marketers and small business. If you want to schedule posts, respond to comments, and get more customers all from one easy-to-use interface, then you've got to go to getagorapulsenow.com. That's getagorapulsenow.com. Toss your old software away and start your free trial today at agorapulse.com. How many of you guys are Agorapulse users right now? Let me hear from you in the comment section. I'll tell you, I'm training a new social media manager on managing my social. and he was using another platform before, and I introduced him to Agorapulse and said, we use Agorapulse, so I want you to use Agorapulse. He logs in, and within a day, he's like, this is the easiest software I've ever seen how to use. We've scheduled up our new round of Twitter posts, a new round of Instagram posts, and a new round of Facebook posts. I absolutely love Agorapulse. So get agorapulsenow.com. Go get your free trial. And if you use the checkout code LIVE, I think you get an extra month for free.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you get an extra month absolutely free once you sign up. Do your trial and then use that coupon code after the fact. And then whatever plan you sign up for, you get a month free.
Yeah, really encourage you guys to go play. Use this time, right, to go play with Agorapulse and see why we love it so much. But, Scott, let's just jump right in. It's so funny when we say jump right in after 13 minutes of streaming. You know, it's like, let's jump right in 20 minutes later. Let's jump in. We'll skip some of that upper conversation, and let's talk about the top 10 pieces of content that you could be engaging in right now during quarantine. And I'll start the very first. Now, this is true, by the way, guys. The number one place where I think you will have a great time on your phone right now is looking up office memes on Instagram. It's true.
They're so good.
I wish I had my sound effects right now. I gotta get the office music on my sound effects.
Yeah.
I go to so if you go into Instagram and go into your discovery section and just type in office memes or the office memes or Michael Scott memes, you'll just get into this vortex of office memes. And some of them are like yesterday, for example, was the anniversary of the first episode of The Office, right? So you see a whole bunch of these happy anniversary posts. And then there's all sorts of these, other posts like, Stanley is saying like, you should stay home. What? Did I stutter? And then so they're kind of like bringing COVID into the office memes. No. So I know it's kind of silly. We talk about what content you should be engaging in, but here's why I like office memes. Office memes give you a sense of what the culture is into. And when you see what people are laughing at, it gives you the opportunity to create lookalike memes that you can be providing for your customers. And so I highly recommend that you guys go and look at office memes. Or if your people are into Game of Thrones, look at Game of Thrones memes, right? Go to your favorite sort of pop culture reference and type in memes. And then make some memes for your customers. Give them some free memes and just say, hey, I made this meme for you. Maybe you want to share it, maybe you don't. But right now is a time for laughter. And The Office, Game of Thrones, it's things that we can all, as a community, fans of these shows, sort of relate to. So I really enjoy spending time there.
All right, so my first one, so it'd be number 2 on our top 10 list of content. I'm going a little more serious on this one. I've got my funny one later on, which I changed right before this, so hopefully it's chosen the screen. Udemy. If you're not a big fan of Udemy, or if you haven't used Udemy's got tons of specials right now. Like $10, you can get a course for all kinds of random things that you might want to learn about. Whether you want to learn coding, you want to learn different programming, how to build a website. There's a lot of different things you can do with Udemy. So I highly, highly recommend go over there, sign up for something you got, especially if you got kids. There's some things you could do with your kids on Udemy and kind of learn along with them. So yeah, Udemy is a big, big one for me right now.
Yeah, I used to call it Udemy, and then I called it Udemy. It seems like everywhere you go, someone's got like a new. Potato. How do you pronounce it out there? Let us know in the comment section below. But Udemy always has free courses. I started like my YouTube journey on Udemy and going and downloading different SEO courses and different things like this. And by the way, I do have my kids. Logging into courses and checking things out. So
yeah, and it could be a thing too. Like if you're somebody who's a teacher or you have some knowledge, you can go set up your own courses on there as well and sell them.
That's
so
right.
It could be a way for people to make some extra income right now and in this downtime for a lot of you. So
yeah, I'll tell
go check that out as well.
It could also be a place where your kids could be making some income on the side. I've got my 13-year-old in the studio with me now, pretty much all day until his school kicks back up again. So, I'm having him put together his own sort of courses on how to do editing and making it for his own peer group. And then we'll eventually sell those. I don't think we're going to make $1 million, folks. But the whole idea is I'm teaching my kids sort of real world skills, right? So that's a good one, Scott. Number 2 is Udemy. All right, so number 3 is Scott and I went in kind of different directions here, right? Number 3 is software training tutorials. And here's what I mean by that. If you have recently got a trial to Agorapulse, then now is a good time to go watch the Agorapulse software training tutorials. If you recently bought like a tent or a hot tub and you haven't put it together, now's a good time to go watch the training tutorials for the software and for the products and services you've already purchased but haven't started using yet. With social media managers, they say that our biggest problem isn't creating new content, it's distributing the content we already have. And I know that's true for me. I've made some great memes and some great videos, and you sort of put them on YouTube, and then you almost forget to publish them. You forget to share them out. You forget to make the email marketing piece, and then you have one great piece of content could become 3 other great pieces of content, right? It's the same with the products that we buy. I've noticed that I've got gimbals back here. I have camera equipment and gear that it's like I've been too busy to learn how to use it. And so I'm using this time to sort of go back through my software tutorials and just spend some time learning how to use the software that I already have. Scott, have you found yourself doing any of that?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I have Camtasia, and I think I even talked about them later. But there's some things I've never done with them, and so I've been hopping in to kind of learn a little bit more about them, and even told my wife because she's trying to figure out stuff to do with her class. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, I got a license with this. You could use it, and so I'm starting to try to hopefully show her how to use it here soon, so she can do her kind of a classroom, with videos and screen shares and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, Scott, what was your next big place to be engaging in content?
Yeah, one of my favorite blogs out there is Neil Patel.
Oh, it's so good.
Neil Patel's got so much content. His emails are genuine too. I'd sign up for his email list. His website looks really sweet for one. It's very easy to kind of consume his content, but it's real world stuff. He tests things like crazy and talks about it. And he's got different free tools. Ubersuggest is one of my favorite tools right now to kind of learn what keywords to use, what your competitors are doing. And they just announced yesterday, because of everything going on, they'd actually made the free version of Ubersuggest not as accessible lately because he was trying to make some money on it. He's actually losing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on this tool. But it's just the way Neil is. Neil, he likes to invest, and it's a lead driving thing for him. And so he's actually opened it up a little bit more in the next coming days. Ubersuggest free account will have a lot more on it again. So yeah, you could dive into his podcast, his blog, his video. Him and Eric Sue do a podcast called Marketing School.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a daily podcast. I mean, every day, 7 days a week. It's 6 minutes long, typically. And if you're smart, you realize after the 10th time you've listened to one, you can just tap the 30 seconds button on your phone and wherever you listen to it and skip over the commercial at the beginning. And then you've got 4 or 5 minutes of content. It's it comes on and I'm tap, and it's right into the content. I think they do it on purpose. But it's really, really actionable stuff. I can go take stuff I hear in his podcast and go apply it today to my business. So I think it's his site. If you don't read any other blog but the Social Media Lab and Agorapulse's blog, hint, hint, Neil Patel is one I would definitely go subscribe to.
Yeah, I agree. Neil Patel is fantastic. In fact, I started my internet marketing journey with Neil Patel. And I remember I met him at Traffic and Conversion a couple years back, and at that time I was still sort of growing my brand. I wasn't very well known in the space, and I was so excited to meet Neil Patel, and he was just the nicest guy, So really great to hear Neil Patel's name. He's been a leader in the space for a long time. Here's a guy who's constantly reinventing himself, and I watch him now, not because I try to stay focused on video and live video. I watch him now to see what he's doing as a brand. How is Neil Patel reinventing himself? And that's something that.
Remember when he was always in his pajamas in every video?
Yeah.
Like every video is, but now it's all white T-shirts, I think. But he was always in pajamas.
Yeah, he's got like kind of the black jacket look, a little bit sleeker.
Yeah.
Presenting himself as a baller. Naomi Nakashima is saying, "Love Neil Patel." All right, so that brings us to number 5. The number 5 place that you should be investing your time is in the courses you've already bought and never watched. You know, I bought, I won't even say it because I'm embarrassed to say it, but I bought a very, very high-end course on commercial writing and comedy writing. And I sort of bought it because it was a great deal. And I don't even think I've clicked on the email to like confirm that I've received the gift. And so what I've been doing now is going through my emails and searching for things like the course name that I remember buying, or, register for, or, welcome to. I'm searching for these terms, and I'm finding all of these programs. And here's what I do. Now, I don't know if you use Trello or if you use Apple Notes or how you organize your stuff. In fact, I would love to know, how do you organize your notes? Let me know in the comment section. How do you organize your notes? I have a project manager called Teamwork. And so what I do is I go into Teamwork and I'll create a task called, courses I've bought. And then in the notes section, I'll just go, add the courses there. And so I've got them all in one place now. They're out of the inbox and they're actually in a task. And I can go to that task and I can just start watching them. And here's the thing. I always would think before all this, right? Because for the next at least year, I think, for the remainder of this year, there's going to be sort of before this happened and after this happened. It's like, oh, well, that was before, all this happened. Before all this happened, I was in a place where I would want to go to Starbucks and watch my courses. But when you get to Starbucks, like the internet there is not really good for watching video, right? You might be able to eke off a couple of YouTube videos or Facebook vids, but very, very wonky. And so I've learned I have to be at home to watch my courses. Well, I'm at home a lot now. So it's a good way to turn the TV off too, right? Because I think you put your course on, you beam it up there, and you're watching, and I think even the kids can be playing with Legos down at your feet, while you're watching something they're not going to be interested in. So I encourage you guys to, in fact, in the comment section right now, I'd love to hear, tell us about a course that you bought but never opened up. And I laugh because I really hope no one says my course. It's like, oh,
you're gonna have a couple, or they admit it. Yeah, will they admit that they didn't open it? Yeah, I think a lot of us do that though. We see a course, especially if it's a low cost or it's free. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this, and then the next shiny object comes along, and then we move on to it, and then we never actually go and learn and apply. So I mean, choose one or two and learn and apply it. I think that's such a good time for that right now. You've got the time to do it. Some of you do, not everybody. But take the time and learn right now. I think it's a good chance to do that.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. All right, Scott, what's number 6 on our top 10 list of content pieces to be watching?
Speaking of learning, Jon Loomer, one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet in social media. If you don't know Jon, his pubcast is really funny. Yeah, he's super laid back. He only speaks at one event every year now in social media marketing world. He does not like speaking. Which is kind of, he's an introverted kind of guy, but he's got a really unique story. If you've never followed Jon, he worked for the NBA and was fired and kind of had to do something and kind of got into social media. So he's a really interesting example of someone in a trying time leveraging his situation and what he knew and making a huge business out of it. But he teaches mainly about Facebook ads, and it's like the geeky, crazy nerd level Facebook ad stuff. It's not, this isn't your mama's ad training. This is like deep Facebook ad stuff. So, but I think there's a lot of business right now. I mean, I'm hearing it all over the place, even locally where I'm at. They're like, especially restaurants and stuff, I need to start running ads because I need people to know I'm open. Yeah. They don't know what to do. And so people are looking for stuff. And I think Jon's a really, really good place to go. He's got his blog, and he's got a couple of training courses that are really low, and he's got monthly training he does, but you can go for this and read his blog if as a starter. But
the blog is so
he's
good.
One I definitely go over to. Yeah, and it's set up well. And right now what he's doing too, him and his business advisor, which is his cousin, his name's John too, so it's funny. It's John and John
Daryl.
with an H.
Here's my cousin Daryl, my other cousin Daryl.
But they're doing some lives on his page and just being raw and honest about marketing right now. Like Jon Loomer is struggling to like, should I run ads right now?
Yeah.
You know, and they're having those conversations. His business advisor's like, yeah, you should. You still got a business. You got kids to feed.
Yeah, I agree.
And so they're struggling. And they're talking about it live on their page. And it's kind of, I think it's real good advice from somebody in the real world, scenario online, who's done it. So yeah, I highly recommend Jon Loomer. If you're friends with him, tag him.
Yeah.
Love the guy to death.
Good guy. And, like these are real questions to ask. And I'll tell you guys what I told my private client group yesterday, and that is this. This is not a time for you to make a left turn. This is not a time for you to pivot hard and do something else. This is not a time for you to stop your ads or your marketing. This is a time for you to double down on who you are, applying what you offer to the new marketplace. And that's the phrase that we're using. This is a new marketplace. All of a sudden, our needs, our wants, our desires have changed overnight practically. Right. So many companies have learned that they were not prepared for this virtual shift. And as a social media manager, you have the opportunity now to help them. I think one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing with social media managers is like, I need to start doing COVID content, or we need to start like wrapping our whole minds around COVID. False. No, absolutely not. What you need to do is keep doing what you're doing. Change some of your messaging. Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't even bring up COVID. I would bring up things like virtual, right? Don't speak to the negative, speak to the positive sides of what are happening. Ad costs are down 30 to 40% across our industry, which means you can get ads for cheaper than ever before. It hasn't been this low in a long time. So that's not a sign to hibernate. That's a sign to move forward and to invest this time into the future. Randy Ryan is saying crazy. That's what I've been doing. Double down. Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you what, guys, a lot of your competitors, a lot of social media managers out there are going to hang up their license for a couple weeks and wait and see what happens. And while I understand that motivation, I've thought about that myself. I've thought we've all gone through those thoughts. But here's the thing. Leaders lead in times of crisis. And so you've got to recognize this is a time of crisis and it's time for you to lead. So while your colleagues are sort of hunkering down, this is your chance to lead and to gain market share in the process. And we're not talking about manipulating the public here, guys. We're talking about serving the people whose social media managers went and tuck-tailed and ran on them. Okay? So think about that and use this time. Naseem Beltran, who is logging into the show today from the heart of it all. He is in Italy right now, where it is going nuts, and logging into this show. Naseem, Air 5 to you, my man. It is great to have you here. Antoinette is saying leaders lead. Great to have you out there. Type leaders lead if you're a leader. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section right now. Okay, so number 7 of the top 10 places where you should be investing your time right now is videos on your phone. Go look at the videos that are on your phone. This goes back to that idea that we have more content than we even know what to do with. I know that you're shooting video and you're taking photos of stuff and you're like, oh, I'm going to use that. Oh, I'm going to edit that. Now is the time to just sit on your couch while the kids are watching, Three's Company or something. And you go, by the way, your kids should not be watching Three's Company. But
come and knock on my door.
Hey, name a character from Three's Company in the comment section right now. It's going to be so avant-garde, like not everybody's going to get that reference. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section. Look, go through the videos on your phone and start organizing them, right? This is a great chance to clean up your phone even and to get stuff out of your phone. Clean up some memory on your computer, but it's also a great time to look at the content you've already captured and say, how can I use that? I film all sorts of TikTok videos on my phone, and I'll edit them later. And so I've been spending time in the evening organizing them, putting them into Teamwork, and I saw a lot of people use Trello. I think Mike Phillips was saying he uses Trello.
Yeah, he did.
We had a couple other people out there talking about Asana. Pressy is saying Teamwork is awesome. Deb Mitchell uses Trello. So put them in your organizer and start editing them. And get more of your content out. Is anybody naming characters?
Sarah Monroe's like, Three's Company, how old are you?
My gosh.
Yeah, I'm old.
But I'm not that old. Here's in fact, I was sort of having a lecture with my kid the other day because he's editing, and I'm like, open up your history, because I can see him. I can see that he's on YouTube, and it's like, you're not supposed to be on YouTube while you're working. And so I go in there, and as soon as I come over, he switches it to the editing software. And I go, open up your browser. And of course, the YouTube tab isn't there. I said, open up history. And I said, I was like, he's 13. And I go, you kids, you think because I'm old that I don't know how a computer works. I'm like, you're wrong. And he's like, you're not even that old. But here's my point is Three's Company was a bit before my time, but I was a child of reruns. My mom, prescription drug addict. So my mom was like drooling on the couch while the three of us kids at the time were just in front of the TV. And that's what we did. And so we grew up on.
See, for me though, it was in my time. It came on in 77. I'll Google it real quick to make sure. It came on in 77 and in 84. I was born in 75. So young kid, well, we were watching Three's Company on, not reruns. Later we watched the reruns, but yeah, it was a hot show back then.
Mr. Roper, Antoinette with Mr. Roper. Yep. That's the one. I was thinking Mr. Gorpley, but Mr. Gorpley was actually the boss on season 1 of Perfect Strangers with Balky and Larry. I can go deep, folks, with you guys on pop culture if you want to. All right, so go through the videos on your phone. Scott, what is number 8 on our top 10 list of content to binge on?
All right, well, I'm going to see what Melissa pops in the screen because I changed it the last second, so I don't want to say that's what's not on there. And it's a social media manager school. Agorapulse has actually acquired Social Media Manager School recently, so it's a really cool setup. And I say acquired, we've partnered with Phyllis over at Social Media Manager School. If you want to learn how to be a social media manager, now's the time to do it. There's a lot of people going to be looking for social media managers to hire. So it's a great school to hop over to, dive into, and really learn from some experts. It's going through some tweaking right now, but you can definitely run over there and take a look at that. It is a paid program, but it is a training and a certificate program that you can learn how to do and become a social media manager. So definitely check out Social Media Manager School. The one I was going to say that I threw in last second and forgot that I was going to change it out is because I realized I'm spending all my time doing it. You were talking about office memes on Instagram. Yeah. I'm all about Seinfeld memes.
Yes.
On Instagram.
Yes.
There's about 7 or 8 accounts that I follow that are just blowing it up right now with, coronavirus stuff and using Seinfeld to kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's great humor. It's not inappropriate. But it's just stuff that kind of makes you laugh and feel good, and especially on a show like Seinfeld, which I could, quote every single episode. So, Seinfeld memes is a bonus one.
Same with me, man. In fact, we're doing this new thing where we're sending the kids to bed early. Normally what we do is we all kind of go to bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and there's no set bedtime in our house. It's really like, what do we feel? Yeah. Like, is it a little bit later tonight or whatever? But what we've been doing is like kids go to bed, and then mother and I will, but my love and I will watch Seinfeld, and I do call her Lovey because I love pop culture, folks. Like, I'm a pop culture nerd. We watched Seinfeld last night. It was so nice to watch something adulty, while the kids were sort of sleeping. Want to say what's up to my man Jeff Weiss, who has been the sounding board for all things safety as he is nursing, just a kit and caboodle of daughters over there with his lovely wife. Good to see you guys out there, Jeff. He's saying, love your hustle. Love you, bro. Great to see you. And I really appreciate Andy Falco and Kathy Jung and Roger Wakefield and all you guys commenting on the thread. It's great to hear from you guys. Okay, we got to keep moving. Number 9 of pieces of content that you should be engaging in to grow your skill sets right now, I want you to tag him. His name is Angus Nelson. And this is a serious one for me. I love Angus Nelson, and I love his content. I had the chance to sit with Angus at Social Media Marketing World and talk about what he does, right? And what he does is it's a mindset coach. Now, when I hear mindset coach, I immediately start to kind of like tune out a little bit. And the reason I tune out is because there can be so much fluff in the mindset coaching sphere. But sitting down with Angus for 10, 15 minutes, I heard this guy say things that were so poignant and relevant. And this was before all this virus stuff happened. So I really enjoy his content. The CEOs of the companies that we love in social media hire Angus to help them become better CEOs. So he's an incredible guy. Tag him in the comments that he does daily. And here's the thing, he has like a daily email list. He has like daily videos that he can send you out, and really encouraging stuff, really uplifting stuff, and really, I think, gets to the core of who you are. It goes beyond just like your physical habits and your day-to-day activities, and really goes deep into what you believe about yourself and what you believe about the world, and not changing it per se, but honing it so that your beliefs match who you really are. And I just love Angus. Dustin is echoing me in the comment section. If you love Angus, then tag him in the comment section below. Angus is number 8 on our number 9 on our content list of top 10 educational content to be binging on. And Scott, what is number 10? I love what you wrote for number 10.
Number 10 is virtual summits, and there's a lot of different places you can go to virtual summits. But this is a 2-part piece of advice. For one, there's a lot of things you can go watch online right now, and so there's a lot of summits you can consume. Find ones that fit your need and are going to give you new stuff to learn. Virtual summits also, and there's virtual summits, there's Hey Summits, there's a few others, but maybe you need to learn how to do a virtual summit.
Yeah,
maybe you need to learn how to put together a virtual summit. I know we think on the big marketing scheme, social media marketers, but even in your town, let's say you want to get people in your town to get together and do a virtual summit about what they do or how to train others. You could do a local one virtually, because you can't do it in person right now. Right. So do a virtual one, and kind of maybe you do it free, maybe you charge for it. That's up to you and what your business and what you're trying to do with it. But I think you could learn how to do virtual summits to do that, and also think about business opportunities. I mean, if you're someone who's looking for another stream of income, learn how to set up virtual summits. And then push that to people. And hey, pay me to do it. I'll get the people in. I'll set them up. I'll do the videos.
100%.
I guarantee people are gonna make money and learn how to have this as a business now, setting these things up for people. So I definitely would look at virtual summits or Hey Summits and all these different ones that are out there.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Sarah Monroe is commenting on Brene Brown's leadership book and Mel Robbins for life inspiration. Really, really powerful there. I just figured out who Brene Brown was recently. People have been sort of, Brene Brown, and it's just like, yeah, totally. And then I see this book with Brene Brown on it, and I'm like, I had no idea she was female. No clue at all.
Oh,
so thank you, Sarah, for putting some female leadership into the mix. Love to see that as well. My whole life has been shaped by powerful females, alongside very powerful male role models as well. So those are our top 10. That's our top 10 list of educational content that you could be watching right now. And we're going to wrap that section up with a trivia question. And here it is. Melissa, are you ready with trivia? Here's trivia question number 1. What was the top hashtag used on Instagram in 2019? Was it hashtag iHeartRadio, hashtag fashionista, hashtag Fitstagram, or D, hashtag love? Put your answer in the comment section right now. And Scott and I are going to move into section number 2, which is the top 10 virtual services that we have been utilizing during this time of quarantine. And Scott, we'll go through this one maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah, probably need to.
Yeah, because we used up 40% of our show, right? 60% of our show on the first one. Okay, so
they can watch for an hour and a half. Come on.
We're having a good time, and if you're having a good time, bomb us right now. Our goal today was to kind of have something on for you to listen to in the background, maybe hear a couple inappropriate jokes, and have a good time. Linda Mae Bortman is saying love. Let's see who else is saying love. Antoinette is saying B. We'll tell you guys the answers in just a second. Okay. So the number 1 virtual service that I am using right now is Marco Polo. And I absolutely love the Marco Polo app because I can do live video and I can share my family stories, but I don't have to do it with the entire community. Marco Polo is like group FaceTimes. And you can create private threads. It's a mobile app for your phone. You create private threads with one person or with 6 people, and you can have group conversations. It's not everyone logs in at the same time, but one person talks at a time, and so it keeps things really organized. You can also upload videos and do voiceover. You can upload photos and do voiceover. So I really love Marco Polo. For me, it's a great vent because I want to share like what my daughter's doing, like she's doing a little butterfly dance. But it's not always like consistent with the brand that I'm trying to build on Facebook. So it gives me a chance to share videos, but not have to share them with the entire world.
So who are you sharing them with?
Okay, so I have a couple different groups. Jeff Weiss, I have a Marco Polo with Jeff Weiss, and him and I will just go back and forth, and we talk influencer stuff. I have a family Marco Polo thread, which is all the people of our family. And that's a really cool one because I've got brothers and sisters that are getting married, and I have nieces and nephews that are getting their own phones, and so it's neat to see kind of like the new ones come in. But it's a whole family thread. It's like the entire dad's side or my side of the family. And then we have a separate one for my wife. And then on top of that, there's like church threads, right? There's like the ministry thread and threads like that. So really, it's like Marco Polo is kind of like almost like a group video app for your phone, and I really like it.
Interesting. Yeah, I never heard. And it looks like it's for Apple and Google Play, by the way.
Yeah, great app. Okay, Scott, I figured you knew it. No, but you got to get it, Scott.
No, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, great app. It's an absolute. How many of you guys are using Marco Polo? Tell me in the comment section below. Scott, what's number 2?
All right, number 2, and I mentioned this one already a little bit, is TechSmith. TechSmith is the creators of Camtasia and a whole, Snagit, a whole bunch of other different things. I've used TechSmith forever, as people say, as the kids say. The TechSmith is a really cool tool. You can do all kinds of different things with it. Right now, they're offering a lot of free access because of so many people working from home right now, especially for teachers. If you're an educator, you can get a lot of good deals. I think if you go over to TechSmith, you can get it free, a free trial up until June. They're kind of pushing it out a little bit further with a couple of different tools. And there's some discounts, again, depending on if you're buying it with a .edu email address. I love all things TechSmith. I always have. I think they've always been, especially because I'm a PC guy, not a Mac guy.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of leaned on them when, yeah. I know. Look at you. And so, I mean, there's a lot of, I can't use some of the cool Mac tools, so I've always gone to TechSmith, and I think TechSmith is easy to use. I use it for videos. I use it. Here's something cool. My father-in-law is about to be 70, I think. He's a pastor of a tiny little church, and like 15 people, literally. And he wanted to record a video, so his wife recorded a video, and then he wanted me to upload it to YouTube so he could share it because he didn't know how to do it. But I wanted to trim it out and kind of push the audio up. And so I popped it in the into Camtasia, boom, 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 done, loaded it. So easy. It sounded better, looked a little bit better, and their congregation loved it. So
that's great.
There's so many different things you can do with TechSmith. So go check out TechSmith if you haven't yet. There's a lot of free options on their website right now.
Yeah, love everything TechSmith. I use Camtasia. I use Snagit. And here's the thing. I love the team there. Andy Owen, Matt Pierce, Jesse LaHaye, phenomenal team of people. So we really love TechSmith. And the number 3 virtual service that I highly recommend during quarantine is Visita. That's Visita. Visita is my online calendar tool. It's an alternative to Calendly. It costs the same amount of money. It might be like $1 more per month. It's like right in that same ballpark. But you get so much more while most calendar tools only provide you with a calendar tool. Visita is a whole back-end office that could run your business all from an easy-to-use calendar interface where people can set appointments with you. There's a Zoom integration, so you can send someone a link. They can schedule a call with you, pick a Zoom call, and it creates an automatic link for them, which you can now create a recording of. You've got the ability to charge them for those calls. You can manage communication with their emails. It is a phenomenal service. I have been using Visita for the longest time, and it's probably one of the hidden gems of my online marketing arsenal. And I'll be doing a webinar with Visita tomorrow on how I use the service to grow my business by $78,000 in my first year of using Visita. If you want to join me for that webinar, type Visita in the comment section below. It's not for everybody, but it's if you're looking for ways to step up your business and make more money, it's going to be a good webinar. I love this app. I think that there's we get sort of pigeonholed into I need a calendar app, without thinking like, well, what else could this do? And what Vecita does is it takes a calendar app and builds this entire infrastructure around it that will help you charge for the time that's on your calendar. And so I highly recommend getting Vecita and playing with it.
Very cool. All right, number 4. You mentioned them. We talked about Vecita. They've got to be the most popular app right now in website. Zoom.
No doubt. Yeah.
Zoom has just blown up. Everybody and their dog is using it. I've seen people use it in fun ways. There's a free account that gets you up to, I think, like 40 minutes for your Zoom. So if you're doing like a quick hangout,
per call,
it's free. Educators are getting even more access. I know my wife, all the teachers, they're using it either for their class or just to, have their staff meetings right now. So give Zoom all the love you can, because they've been overrun with users. So I'm sure that and they're dealing with this thing too. And so they're having to support it. They're having to keep their servers running, keep the app running, and they've done a phenomenal job.
Big shout out to
taking
Zoom.
It on.
Yeah,
love it. I've become a huge fan of them now, just not first for the tool, but just how they're handling it, how they're communicating with everybody.
Yeah.
I think they're one of the winners that's going to happen during this whole thing. Yeah. When it's all said and done.
Go
check out Zoom. Go ahead.
No, you know why they're winning is because they're positioned. They were ready for this, and we got people giving lots of love to Zoom in the comment section. So I think it's a good lesson for all of us to get positioned, right? To understand where the marketplace is going and getting yourself in that position. If you're a social media manager, you should be working on, right, adjusting your clients to the digital space and getting them more in tune with what's happening in the virtual world. Yeah. That's going to be a big win for you. Okay, number 5 of virtual apps that you should be engaging with is the Reflector app. Get the Reflector app. Now, if you're using Zoom, you may not need this app, but if you want to record the screen on your iPhone, or if you want to record the screen on your iPad, you can do that with the Reflector app. So what the Reflector app does, it's you download the app on your computer, Mac or PC, and thank you, Dustin Stout. And then you download the app on your phone or on your iPad, and what it does is it creates a gateway so that your iPad is appearing on your computer screen, and you have the option to share it. So you could share your screen now anywhere else that you can share your screen. So if you're broadcasting live or what, you want to take screenshots of your iPad and have them right on your computer, you can do that all right with Reflector. Some other apps already do this, right? Zoom has a built-in adapter for your for recording your screens on your iPhone and iPad. Camtasia by TechSmith has an extension for doing this. But for those of you that don't have those and don't want those, Reflector app is a free alternative to get your iPad or iPhone to appear on your computer screen where you can share it, record it, take screenshots of it, and edit it a little bit faster. So I love the Reflector app.
All right, number 6 on our virtual tools to use. I fell in love with this one like this week. Brain.fm. I like listening to music when I'm in the office, but at home right now, I've got 3 kids who are doing whatever they're doing. The wife's doing whatever she's doing, and I'm trying to work. Like yesterday, I'm on the couch trying to write a blog, and I need to get into deep thought. And so Brain.fm has this cool feature where you put on your headphones, and they've got different categories. They have focus, sleep, other different categories you're trying to do as far as your focus. And I put on this music, and it's like this new agey, just kind of mellow, weird music. Weird, I thought at first, but I found myself after about 20, 30 minutes, like I was like in the zone, just working solid for like 3 hours. Writing a blog and doing other things. Really cool. You can try it for free at first. It's an app, or you can do it on the desktop. But really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and pay for it because I loved it so much yesterday using it. Yeah. I'm curious about the sleep option as well. Like if we're traveling or at a hotel, you don't have your normal sounds. And like I'm like white noise guy. I've got to have my fan and stuff. So I'm curious if it'll help me sleep better. But definitely check on an airplane. It could be amazing.
I used to be a nut about focusatwill.com. And focusatwill.com was the same thing. When I first started with them, it was like 5 pieces of music, but now they have a whole library. And it's like it's music designed to like get your neuro blah blah blahs sort of like really working, and I love these things. So great find. In fact, Scott, I just went to my Alexa on Amazon, and it looks like Brain FM has an Alexa app, so I can listen to it on my Alexas as well. Great find there. I highly recommend these pieces, guys. You feel it. You feel your brain working at a different level, and that's exciting to see. Number 7 on our list of top 10 virtual apps you should be using. Number 7 is the BlueJeans app. Now, BlueJeans is a Zoom alternative. Their free trial gives you way more than the Zoom free trial does. Feature-wise, Zoom might win the day. But if you're in a place where, like Dustin Stout, Zoom is not your thing, BlueJeans is a great alternative. I've been using BlueJeans for a very, very long time. They have never let me down. There's a great calendar integration. They're really, really good with replays. You can do some whiteboarding. You know, you can scribble. You can add in screenshots and scribble on the screenshots. Lots of really cool effects. BlueJeans is made for like the Zoom one-to-one calls and the meetings, but there's also this bigger sort of inter-office workspace. So if you've got like a virtual team, whether it's a 10-person team or a 100-person team, I think that BlueJeans will offer you some features that you may not find in Zoom at the same price point, right? You might have to pay a lot more in Zoom to get those to work for you. So I really like BlueJeans, and that brings us to number 8. Scott, what is number 8 in our top 10 virtual tools?
Number 8 is a company called EasyWebinar. I know Casey Zeman, who created EasyWebinar. He's probably one of the first guys in online marketing I've met like 10 years ago. So not only is it run by a great company, it's a really cool tool where you can host live webinars through it, and you can integrate Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all inside the webinar platform. But you can also do replay webinars. And I know some people aren't big on replay webinars. I think depending on what it is, I think replay webinars are a phenomenal way to get leads and to use for ads. I used to do them all the time with another company. Really simple tool. They've done so much. I literally have watched him kind of grow this thing as like an infant into kind of what it is now. And there we go. That was a weird screen split there for a second. Sorry, my ADD went, what? But yeah, EasyWebinar. You should check it out if you've got courses, or you've got a training and you want to get it in front of more people. You could set it up and kind of do it on automated. And automated is not a bad thing because you can still be live in the conversation. It's just you're having the technology play the presentation. So there's a lot of different ways you can leverage it. But all the tools out there.
That's
EasyWebinar has been the best for me.
I think Casey.
Yes, Casey Zeman. Yeah,
Casey Zeman's program. I know. I've met Casey, I should say.
Cool dude.
And really great guy. Yeah, knows his stuff. He's been in the game for a long time. And I was an EasyWebinar user for a long, long time. We use a different software now. But the reason for that is really more financial, right? We were given an offer from another company to promote them, and we really like them. What I love about the webinar features that are provided is I love this where the webinar itself is automated, but you're in the comments live engaging with people. That is so powerful because you can do your best presentation and you can still promote it live because you are there live and you're there engaging with people. Makes for a very effective webinar. So great points there, Scott, on EasyWebinar, which brings us to number 9 on our top 10 list of virtual apps that you should be using during this time. And number 10 is Video Husky. I strongly recommend Video Husky for your video editing needs. Video Husky is a subscription-based video editing service, and they charge one low monthly fee, and they give you unlimited videos to edit. Now, I have a very special link for Video Husky. And if you'd like to get my link, you get 30 days of video editing for free. But you have to type Video Husky in the comment section now. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to overwhelm them with free work. I only want to give this link to those of you that are actually going to send over 5 videos and get those 5 videos edited for free, right? So if you want to get some free editing on videos, and even if you're willing to shoot some videos this week so that they can edit them, then type Video Husky in the comment section. I'll reach out to you personally. I have used subscription services before. This is the best. I love what they do. They are cranking out videos for us. Not only brand new YouTube videos, that are just raw footage, but they're adding the B-roll. They're adding music. They're adding lower thirds and bumpers. Also, they're taking my finished videos and turning them into square videos and wide and tall videos for Instagram and for IGTV. So really, really love this service. And I would be happy to connect you directly to them. Type Video Husky in the comment section, and I'll make an introduction.
Very cool. I've never heard of them. That sounds awesome.
Oh, they're great.
They give you 5 for free. That's really good. Great deal. All right,
and
number 10 on our tools. This one's a little bit different for most. This isn't a tool most of you will need, but you might now. Spindesk. Spindesk, if you got employees and they need money to do different things in their job, you can do it all virtually with Spindesk. We use that at Agora Pulse because our accounting's in Paris, France, so it's kind of hard to do all that. And so I have actually a card that I can use, a plastic card. So if I'm at an event, I can pay for the hotel, I can pay for dinner, whatever else is going on, I can buy stuff. But I think right now, with payroll kind of being up in the air, do you go in and get your paycheck if you're a local business?
Yeah.
You could do a lot of different things with Spindesk, not just paychecks. Payroll's not 100% what they are. I think they have a payroll option. But Spindesk is more about just spending things, giving your employees money in their expense account without you having to write a check out to them and get reimbursed. Like what it was hard for me is I didn't want to wait to get reimbursed. As an employee, it might take a week, 2 weeks. Now I just use the company card right there in Spindesk. It's approved. I take a picture of the receipt, and I'm done. It's a really neat virtual tool.
Man, I have struggled to find the right tool for that type of thing.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, I love it. I love it.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so those are our top 10 virtual tools. And then what was the answer to trivia question number 1, where we asked, what was the top hashtag used in Instagram in 2019? And the answer was D, love. Love has been used, 1.6 trillion times.
Isn't that ridiculous? Yeah.
And not once was the context actually love. It was really more
probably not.
Like really like a lot and physical intimacy. But it's okay, folks. We're going to figure out the definition of love really, really soon here. So, guys, we are out of time today. So what I want to do is I want to go through our top 10 binge watching shows. So we'll do a 2-shot here, and then Scott and I will go through these as quickly as possible. Here are the top 10 binge-worthy Netflix shows, Hulu shows, what you guys should be watching, and we will go through these very, very quickly. Scott and I compiled the list of the top 10 shows that you should be binge-watching right now, and the first one is Raising Dion. Me and my family loved this show. Every show that I'm going to suggest to you is family-friendly. So number 1 is Raising Dion. Scott, what's number 2?
Number 2, which is my number 1, is Seinfeld, because you cannot go wrong with Seinfeld, and hopefully you can spare a square.
Yeah, good, really, really good. Number 3 for me is Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. Man, talk about some good, clean fun with your kids. The battle against time and good and evil. Doc Brown is so fun to watch with the kids. Great Scott. And we actually use that soundbite in the opening bumper here, so we really like Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
Which one's your favorite?
Back to the Future 2, I think. 1 is classic, 3 is super fun. I mean, I love 3, but 2 with all the space age, the hoverboard, it's iconic. I think I own a hoverboard right now because of Back to the Future 2, so I would say that Back to the Future is the most iconic.
All right, number 4 in our binge-worthy shows, Ozark. Now, this is not kid-friendly. Do not let your kids be in the room when you watch this. This is a show on Netflix with Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Season 3 comes out Friday, and I'm so excited. It's been 6 months or so since there's been an episode. Really deep, dark show about getting caught up in this money laundering thing, and this whole family having to move to the Ozarks. So it's worth watching, but again, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
And it's not kid-friendly. But it's a really, really good show, but really well put together, and it surprises you every episode.
I'll tell you, I've got friends that are in the Ozarks right now. They're in the Ozarks 6 months out of the year, then they're here 6 months out of the year. So I'll have to ask him if he really likes it. Number 5 for me is King of the Hill. We just got into this show. I don't even remember really watching it when it came out, like 90s, early 2000s, maybe 90s, I think. But it is a super fun show. Not every episode is kid friendly. So what we do is, we look through the episode first and see if this is, or we'll just skip it. Most of them are okay. It seems to be like every third one is maybe too off color for my young kids. But it is so fun to see my kids walking around the house going like, Bobby, hand me that Lego. Bobby, give me a glass of milk, and they're just like doing the voice. And so it's really fun to watch the kids enjoy
propane and propane accessories.
Yeah. Scott, what's
based
number
in
6?
Texas, and so I think half of those people are my family.
Yeah, Boomhauer. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, number 6 for me is Toy Story 1 through 4. You can't go wrong.
Super good.
Sitting around and watching Toy Story. I will admit, we are Disney movie watchers big time. The Disney Plus app is, pretty amazing for us. I will watch one of this Toy Story movies probably once a week. And the last 2 or 3, like number 2 and number 4 and number 3, I probably cried a little bit in all of them and still do. I think they're so amazing. The technology they started back in the 90s changed everything.
So good.
So you can't go wrong with Toy Story 1 through 4, especially if the kids are home.
Yeah, super, super good piece. And I think you got caught sort of watching Toy Story by yourself the other day, right?
Yeah, like the kids they're home and I'm working and Toy Story 2, I think, was on. And I look over and they've been gone for like an hour and I'm still watching it.
Oops.
And I continue to watch it and then like even got teared up at the one scene,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So,
they got me.
No
they
shame.
got me again.
No shame.
I love it. Good. So that's number 7. Don't laugh at me, is The Queen on Netflix. I am so pumped to get into season 2 and 3. I can't even tell you guys. I love historical fiction and history, both. So it's like, tell me something about the past. It doesn't even have to be true, and I'll eat it up. I love watching this story, and I don't believe it's like true or even true-ish. I understand it's a dramatization, but it's super fun to watch. Check out The Queen. It's on Netflix. There's 3 seasons, and it's really, really good.
All right, number 8, we've mentioned this one, The Office. You can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Watching The Office. Start from the beginning, though, and kind of watch it progress. If you hop in, I started watching The Office originally like season 3.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and watch the first 2 seasons, but one of the best shows ever made. And I'm talking about The Office in the U.S., not the original one.
Right.
Got to kind of decipher. Because if you're in the U.S. and you watch the U.K. one, it doesn't have to jokes don't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
very cool.
There's nothing, you can't go wrong with The Office.
Yeah. Really, really good stuff. And, I'll tell you, here's a trick on any TV show that's been on for a long time. Season 2, episode 1. That's where I usually start because pilot isn't always great.
Tough,
but by season 2, that's a show that just got revamped. It's a show that just got bought again. Everyone's excited. Everyone's energy's up, and you tend to get. I think The Office, like seasons 2 through 4 are like the peak, and then it kind of died. There's some cool episodes, but
it got weird.
Yeah, but it's a great. I'll tell you, we can watch that anywhere, and I'll tell you what else we could watch anywhere is number 9, Malcolm in the Middle. Super fun show to watch. Now, when the boys get into high school, the context sort of increases, so we don't watch past season 5 with the kids, but that's 5 seasons that we can watch with the kids. And I'm telling you, this show cracks me up. First of all, Hal is actually the guy from, what's his name? From Bryan Cranston. Is in this show. He was in Malcolm in the Middle for 10 years before anyone knew his name. After that, he did Seinfeld, and then after that, he became incredibly popular. So it is so fun to watch these actors. Jane Kaczmarek, the mom, is my mom. And so it's like so fun to watch those characters and like me tormenting of my high school. And of course, we have 3 boys and they have 3 boys. And so we really love Malcolm in the Middle. I catch my dad watching this with his wife, right? With my stepmom. And they're 60, so it's a really, really fun show, and I think you'll just laugh your head off with Malcolm in the Middle. And Scott, that brings us up to number 10. What is show number 10?
Locked Up. Now, this is kind of this is like a double entendre or a pun because a lot of us are locked up right now. This Locked Up is different. This is on Netflix. There are tons of them out there. They're all about prison life. And they're all about like real life interviews of people in prison and learning the prison culture. I'm a documentary nut. I will sit around, ask my wife and my kids. They hate it. Like I'd rather watch a documentary than a drama or a comedy.
That's cool.
Most times.
I didn't know that.
But Locked Up is really intriguing. You learn a lot about the culture in prison and why people get there and the system they kind of just get stuck in and lifestyle they get stuck in.
Yeah.
But it's very sad at times, but you'll learn a lot and you'll learn to respect people a little bit different, I think, after you watch them. But there's tons of different episodes, seasons. So yeah, go check it out. Locked Up is definitely worth binge watching. Again, not one for the kids.
Yeah, there you go. So Scott had sort of the mom and dad after hours list. I kind of gave you the family friendly list, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. Don't go anywhere. Social Media Lab is here to stay. Oh, I was going to wrap it up. That was good. Hey, Social Media Lab is here to stay. We've got a ton of great content for you coming up. This will not stop us, and it should not stop you from producing your best content and doing your best work ever. I'm Owen Video with the social media scientist Scott Ayers. Logging off. We will see you next week on the Social Media Lab Live. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching the Social Media Lab, brought to you by Agorapulse, where we use science to crack the social media code. Join us live on Facebook and YouTube to find out what's working and what's not working in social media.